Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk on whether Indian competitive examinations are a selection procedure or a rejection procedure. Well, first we'll have to get into the things properly, why we have particular kind of selection procedure or something like that. So the first and the foremost thing and the very important thing that involves a selection procedure or a rejection procedure is the population. It's like how many people are applying for one particular job. So it is not practical that everybody can be interviewed or can be scanned properly. So therefore they have a particular kind of selection or rejection procedure. But whether they are actually selection procedure or rejection procedure, that has to be understood. But at the same time, when you have this kind of procedure, which is more of a kind a rejection procedure, then then that time we have a huge chances of losing talents, which results in brain drain. So for example, if somebody is applying for a job in one of the PSUs or in one of the private companies where he can flourish like anything because of his talents, but because of the procedure through which he has to go to enter that particular company or industry, he certainly fails to complete that particular selection procedure. So therefore, he chooses to go outside that country or to somewhere else or changes his field where he will not be that much famous or successful. So that's one of the major problems that we are facing right now. So the current procedure uh, is to evaluate candidate on the basis of a particular examination, and that particular examination is just for 3 hours. So those 3 hours evaluates a particular candidate for the years of hard work that he or she does uh, for 4 years or 12 years or something like that. For example, if you are appearing for a particular uh, college entrance examination, so you have studied the school, uh, and now in 3 hours you have to prove that whatever you have studied in school for 2 years or 1 year or whatever it is, you have studied the best. So you'll have to prove that you have done a great job as a student in those one in those 3 hours. So it's like they don't believe whether you have done a hard work or not only by assessing you on the basis of the examination that you have appeared for to pass that particular standard. So yeah, so that's one of the major problems. Then when you when you are done with your graduation, then also you'll have to go for entrance examination for different things. For example, if you want to go for higher studies in engineering, then you'll have to go for gate examination. So in gate examination, again, it's a 3 hours examination and you are evaluated in those 3 hours for your 4 years what you have done. And even in that examination, it is not like you'll be asked from everywhere, like the questions will be asked from each and every subject. It is not like that. Some subject will be of higher marks and some subject will be like ignored, they will not be asked. So yeah, but I'll get come into that later on in this particular thing. So this is not doing any kind of justice with the students, especially you are selecting students. So this proves that these are not a selection procedure. This is more kind of a rejection procedure. So if you look into the foreign countries, the way of evaluating the students is like they they call in the whole performance index of their past life. That is, if they have done an engineering course, so they will judge them on the 4 years basis of their performance. Then they will see what projects they have done, right? What publications they have done, if any. Then what kind of talent or extracurricular activities. Not like extracurricular activities here means what extra certification he has done in his field or any other field. So they look into the uh, uh, complete performance of a student, not on the basis of 3 hours, but what that student has done in his graduation UG studies life. So yeah, so it's kind of an implementation of what that student has learned, right, on in his past life, and whether he'll be able to be in that company or in that industry or for the higher studies. So uh, and what the difference between this selection procedure and the rejection procedure that is followed in India is through through this rejection procedure. What Indian institutes are doing is like they are already asking the student to come prepared with all the skill sets. So we are not responsible to develop the skill sets that will be required here. So you should have the skill sets from earlier itself. So therefore you need to go through this rejection procedure. So if you are going to an IIT institute for higher studies or for the UG studies, then you should have these kinds of sets, these skill sets, and only then you can come here and study. That's the complete thing. But in foreign countries, what is happening is like they call you on a particular basis that yes, you have that potential to come here and study engineering in our university, and we will help you to develop the skill sets because you have that particular uh, that talent to develop those skills to become an engineer. So it's like here they are making engineers, and in India what we are expecting is that they come here and they become engineers on their own. So this is the major difference that we have even today. um, then it comes that then what happens is that in this procedure, if there is a rejection procedure, then skills like research, uh, knowledge, uh, becoming a knowledge contributor, and presenting themselves on a global stage, it doesn't appear in them, or it is not built in them. So when you are building someone or inculcating the skills after getting them in the institution, then then you can expect that yes, he can do research, he can be a knowledge contributor, and can set different kind of global stage and global competition, and is 100% skilled. But here you are already expecting that he should be skilled, and then he can come here and do the jobs that we give him. So yes, these are bit peculiar, but that's what the rejection procedure actually says. In foreign countries institutions, this rejection procedure is actually followed for those candidates who want to come to their institution from different nations. So therefore they have GRE, they have GMAT, they have TOEFL, they have IELTS, they have SAT examination. This is called rejection procedure, so that very less amount of abroad students can come here and study, only so that they can and they can give more preference to their own nation, their own nation's students. So that's quite fair. But they are following this rejection procedure for other students, not for the students of their country. This has to be this has to be uh, noted down. uh, so yeah, these are the things. And after this, when in India, after following the rejection procedure, what happens is that of course it says that they should already know higher level of things in most of the cases, right? Then creating a skilled personality after selection in the institute goes for a toss, to be honest. So that I already discussed, and therefore this leads to thinking of having a higher paid jobs, nothing else. There are means it is like means 95% of the students they think of higher paid jobs, right? And what happens, very few of them they go for higher studies or go for research or even they think of doing something new. So this is a very serious problem. Well, this rejection procedure also also affects the mental health of youngsters, because this creates lots of competition. They think whether I'll be able to get selected in that particular institute or not. So this mental health gives uh, serious it seriously affects the 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 students, and this develops anxiety, stress, depression, etc. In them, and this always happens because of the performance pressure. uh, and this performance pressure is definitely created by the environment. And in here, I according to environment, what I mean is their close associates. Their close associates actually create this, and we all know what happens after that. If the student is not able to bear that particular pressure or stress, then that leads to suicide or some kind of attempt of suicide, which is certainly not welcome. It cannot be welcome. So we'll have to give it a very, very, very serious thinking. Now, till now, there have been many steps taken by the government, but still they are not enough to solve this problem, because no one is talking or focusing on the flawed syllabus pattern that we are still following. For example, in secondary and higher education, there is no bridge among the syllabus. So if what I studied till 10th standard, or in the secondary uh, school, that has no relationship with the syllabus that is taught at the higher school level, right? So there is no bridge. So it's like I studied algebra or trigonometry for 3 to 4 years, and then you expect me to study calculus in 1 year. So this is not practical. You are teaching me algebra and making me perfect in that in 4 years, right? So I am studying algebra step by step for 4 years. But when calculus comes, or any other that is taught in the 11th and 12th standard in India, then you expect me to learn that particular topic within 1 or 2 years. This is not practical. So the bridging of the syllabus between the higher and the uh, secondary level studies in India has to be done. Also, if you go into the civil services examination syllabus, then if there are many mock interviews, you can go and watch in on YouTube. It's like they ask for communism, they ask them about socialism, right? And they have nothing to do with administration and leadership, where they are actually expected to do these jobs when they become IAS officers. Well, for this, Niti Aayog has definitely suggested some different changes. I hope it is done as soon as possible. Then there are many other examples for this flawed system. Is like there are no uniform engineering syllabus for all, and that which should also remain same for gate examination, which will save a lot of money for the students who cannot afford uh, expensive coaching centers. So this will be a great thing if we have a uniform syllabus that is taught in every engineering colleges and universities, and the same is asked in the gate examination. What's wrong in that? You can do that. And if the universities and colleges, they want to teach something extra in that, they can do that. But at least have a uniform syllabus that is also asked in gate, so that everyone gets equal opportunity, right? Then why you are having a gate examination for PSUs, I don't understand. If a person who is from electronics and communication engineering is appearing for gate examination, he's solving the questions related to electronics and communication engineering. Then he's getting a job For example, in Bharat Petroleum Corporations Limited or Indian Oil Corporations Limited, there is nothing to do with electronics. He can be sent to even to HR department or a sales department or a marketing department. Then how are you able to actually use or utilize his talent in electronics and communication? So there is no point in keeping these kinds of entrance examination for PSU companies. At least please don't keep it. Okay, in private companies it's good if you are allowing the private universities to take the candidates or select the candidates using the gate marks. That's fine, because there they actually work, they have their domain to work. But here they don't have the domain. So why not to have a separate exam? I'm not saying that you should not have examination. Okay, you are having a rejection procedure because you are telling that there are too many candidates, so we'll have to go through a particular procedure. We cannot interview everyone, we cannot assess everyone, so we'll have to reject them at some level and then reject again, then interview some selected candidates. Okay, that's fine. But why not to have a separate examination that completely focuses on whether they will be able to work in these PSUs, and whether they will be a loyal and honest officers when they are recruited as an officer in particular PSU. So this has to be very much, this has to be thought thoroughly. Second is, there are many instances of paper leak. Even I appeared for AIEEE examination in 2011. The examination was about to start at 9 a.m., but it was postponed to 12 p.m. I'm sorry, 12 p.m. Why? Because there was a news that the question papers are out. Everybody has it, so they have to produce a different new question paper for the people, for the students. This is a kind of harassment, to be honest. A person who has reached from different cities in that particular examination center and comes to know that paper is out and they will have to wait for it, it's a completely uh, injustice with the students who are coming from far away places. Well, if it well this happens, okay, it's fine. Uh, it's fine, it's happening. No, it's not a new thing. That's why it's fine. Keeps happening. And I don't know how many of these of such incidences get traced, and and some of them get unnoticed. So it's important to bring in technologies. Well, I came to know that for that government has created a platform in which students can take some mock tests for IIT JEE or something like that, and many other examine NEET as well. And that is completely AI empowered. So we need technological interventions in these things. I'm not saying it will be possible in the very coming future, but yes, it will be possible in the far future if we work on that. So we have a particular kind of technology on based on AI that prepares question paper every year and sends to the examination center only when it is said that yes, it's the time of uh, examination. So yes, we will have to work in such kind of. I'm not saying that government is not doing anything. They are trying their best to bring in transparency using different technologies and all. But yes, there are many things still needed to be done. Then my personal question: why do you need a gate examination for PhD positions? It doesn't make any sense. How can you judge a person through gate examination whether he can actually be a researcher or not? There is no point in that. Whether he can be a good researcher or not, there are many instances who got admission as a PhD student, and that student was a gate qualified and was unable to complete PhD. So how were you able to judge using the gate examination that he is a suitable candidate for PhD? This is completely absurd. And also for UGC net, how you are judging that he'll be a good JRF, a junior research fellow? Okay, for assistant professor positions, you are taking the examination again. It is a research, it's a rejection procedure. It's fine. For now it is fine. I'm not saying it is completely okay. Rejection procedure can never be okay, but still you'll have, okay, you are having, it's okay for now, it's fine. But why for PhD positions and why for JRF positions? I completely don't understand this point. Well, okay, again, it might be a rejection procedure, but you cannot follow a rejection procedure in PhD position and JRF position. You have to follow the selection procedure, and you'll have to create technology for that. You'll have to create a portal where anyone can submit his or her research proposal, his credentials, and it is circulated among different professors of that particular institute. And whosoever professor gets interested in that particular student or the candidate, he will directly call him up, email him, interview him, have a conversation with him, and it will be completely left on the professor that whether that particular student will be able to do PhD or research under his tutelage. So yes, if you want to have a particular kind of, okay, whether the professor was unbiased or not, just have a particular kind of recording system, have a particular kind of record keeping system. What steps did he take to select that particular uh, candidate? Why he thinks that he'll be a good candidate under his tutelage for a research? Everything should be asked to him, that particular professor, and record everything, have everything on record. How is doing the selection, what were the conversation between them through emails and through personal messages, and also if he interviewed, what are the questions he asked, how he was able to select him. Do these things, that's fine, but have a selection procedure in these things, because these are the main problems of brain drain. You are losing very talented people. Everybody is not going to return to your country if he gets an opportunity in some other. So government has to seriously look into these things. Then yes, I have come across that many people are very concerned with the delayed results of conducted job examinations. So of course it is a very big problem. You don't know what is the next thing is going to happen with you, because the results are not there. But government is working on this thing, and definitely it will take some time, because they are completely changing the system. They are bringing in a particular examination a particular body which is completely dedicated for conducting examinations and all, and releasing the results and all. It will take some time, but yes, it's a very serious problem. And definitely technology only can help. There is no other way of doing it. You cannot expect a particular professor going and checking some sets of professor going and checking your answer sheets. So there are millions of answer sheets, and you have very few professors. They also have other works to do. Go and take classes. They have to go and make and have to teach the students. They cannot be always expected to come and check your answer paper. So we need some kind of technological intervention which is fast. For example, in GRE, what happens? You complete your examination, and as you click the submit button, the marks is written. So we need to have this kind of, also in also one more thing I like to suggest. Like in GRE, what happens? There are every month every month there are GRE slots, GRE examination slots. So GRE happens every month, and it is like 4 to 5 times it is happening, and at different centers you can take any date you want to. But in Indian system, what is there? This particular examination will only happen once a year. It doesn't make any sense. You are asking a student to wait for 1 year to to test his or her fate. Why not to keep gate examination every month like GRE? So whenever a student is ready, he will take the slot, he will book the slot, appear for the examination, and then and there he will get the score. And using that score, he can apply anywhere he wants to. So why not to have it? So government and all the panels who are actually responsible for suggesting all these things to the government will have to think this properly. And specifically in the state government, central government, okay, they are doing quite well. The examination are being held properly. Most of the results are also, but there are complaints that results are uh, uh, not published on time. There are concerns about that, but yes, for the main examinations, which are very consequential, at least they are doing that properly. But in state governments, no, it is not happening properly, so they will have to look into this very very carefully. Then of course you'll have to eradicate corruption, definitely through technological intervention and by bringing transparency using technology. Lots of corruption has been reduced, but still we need to do a lot. It is not enough. It is not enough. So these are the things. Well, this particular video, I'm not making to criticize any kind of examination or any government or any body or any system, but to raise some very important questions which are needed to be addressed right now, because we cannot lose our talents. Talents are very important for the development of our country. So we'll have to give a serious thinking to these things. So whichever body is responsible for these decisions, they should go through these kinds of points. They should contemplate and cogitate with different sections, so that they can come up with the best selection procedure, not the rejection procedure. Okay, private firms are independent. They should be left independent. They have their own criteria, because we know that we study engineering for 4 years, and then for selection in the private firm we need to study to prepare some kind of general ability and logical reasoning things, which has nothing to do with our engineering. And then we go to interview. So well, when I was the editor of my college magazine, so I was asked to interview some HR people of Cognizant. So I just asked them, why do you ask these questions? Why? So they frequently said, and they openly and straight by the blunt reply from them that I got was, these are not selection procedures, these are rejection procedures, because we cannot interview thousands of students on every campus. So that's how it is. So yeah, these are the reasons. So private firms, okay, I can understand they have also limited seats and all, but if government takes some initiative, then definitely even private firms can get influenced by those steps, and can also bring that kind of particular selection procedure. For example, like many private firms are now selecting the candidates through gate examination. They are accepting the gate scores. So yes, so government has to take some step, or the system that assists government in this particular thing. Okay. uh, then uh, what I can say more is, I have some listed points is like, yeah, so these are all the things that I wanted to say in this particular topic. It was a topic that I always wanted to discuss, and I wanted to say on these things, but only saying and making some points will not help. We'll have to get into action now. So whosoever is responsible for these things, he should think and bring in a community that can actually help to improve these kinds of things, which are very important. Because we are now moving into an era where we'll have to be self dependent. Like, we need more skilled people, we need more talented people, we cannot lose them. So yeah, hoping for better future in this particular thing. Definitely, government is trying their best to bring in transparency, to bring in technological intervention, and also they have many ideas. But yes, it has to be implemented as soon as possible. Mm, and especially after this pandemic, we cannot afford to lose the skills that individuals have for us to develop our country. Hoping for the best, and all the best to all of you. Just go through whatever the procedure is till then, and I hope you all will do better in your future. All the best. Thank you very much.